guess who's decided to host a readathon? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla if you're new here, and today I am announcing a readathon that I am hosting and have created. If you can't tell by the title of the video, I have decided to create a Charmed themed readathon because I love Charmed. I was inspired for this idea because I am currently joining in on the Totally Spies themed readathon, which was created by the Perks of Being Nora on Twitter, and I decided that I wanted to start my own little readathon, and I thought a Charmed one would be perfect because that is one of my favorite TV shows. It's one that I go back to when I want something that's nostalgic for me, because it's a show that I watched as I was growing up. I used to play it with my friends. We used to pretend to be the people from the show and make potions and things like that. It was a big part of my growing up, so it was a perfect idea to create a readathon based around this TV show. If you don't know what this show is about, I am not talking about the newer version. I'm talking about the original and the only one that I'm ever going to watch. So Charmed follows three women in their late 20s, and they have recently discovered that they are witches, the most powerful witches to be exact, and their task is to save innocents, fight demons, fight evil, and kind of be like superheroes with their magical powers. So the show starts about 6 months after their grandmother dies, and that automatically means that these girls will come together, say a spell that will give them their powers, and they'll become the all-powerful Charmed ones. The series ran for about 8 seasons. I don't feel like it was necessary for them to continue with the final season. They could have just stopped the season before. But I still really enjoyed it, and it's one of my favorite TV shows, and I love it. Hence my creation of a readathon. I will have all the information down below for you guys as well, all the documents that you need if you want to read through it and see what everything looks like, see all the prompts and things like that, but I will be going through everything with you all today. This Charmed readathon is called the Power of 3 readathon, or P3 readathon, over on Twitter. It will be going from October 1st to October 31st, with a special mini 24-hour readathon on Halloween. There are 4 teams, so they're all based around one of the sisters, kind of. I will go through it all in this video. They all have 5 different prompts plus a bonus prompt plus a special ability. You don't have to complete all of the prompts if you don't want to. You can just pick a team, do a prompt, and leave it at that if you just want to have an easy casual time about it. But you can also read from more than one team if you want to. So if you complete all the prompts in the team that you choose, you can move on to another team and continue those prompts, if that makes sense. But yeah, one prompt from that particular team that you choose, or all of the prompts plus more from the other teams if you want to. As long as you pick a team at the beginning, you're fine. There's not really a point system. There's no sort of sign up form. You can pretty much just join in and do it how you want to do it. I like to say that if you complete all the prompts in your team, that means that you have completed the challenge and you've defeated the source. That's the best way I could probably say that. But yeah, so at the moment it's not really like a competition, just because it's a new readathon. I wanted to do it so that it's more casual for people if they don't want to complete all of the prompts. Okay, let's get into it. The first team that we have is the Hallowells, and this is more of a solely like family based prompt. It's inspired by Prue Hallowell. Prue is the older sister. She's the strong one. She is the head of the family. She's always looked out for everybody. She makes sure that she puts everyone else before herself. She's the one who gave up her childhood to look after her siblings after their mother died. The first prompt in this team is Prue, which is read a book that you've been determined to get around to. So this could be a book that you've had on your TBR for ages and you just keep putting it off. This is your chance to pick up that book that you keep putting off and ignoring and avoiding for whatever reason it is, and you can now pick it up and read it. I named this prompt after Prue because I feel like she put her life aside for everybody else and for things that she deemed more important. So this is your chance to ignore all the important things and pick up something that you are really determined to read, that you've been wanting to read, that you just keep putting off. The second prompt is Hallowell Manor. Hallowell Manor is the home where the girls live in. It is an old Victorian style mansion, I guess you would say, and it is the house, it is the place that they always come back to. It's their childhood home. It's the place where they have their book of shadows. It's the place where they go back after a battle with a demon. It's the place that they always go back to. It is their home, and it's what we always associate with Charmed, or what I associate with Charmed, is the manor, because that is the big thing with them. If they didn't have the Hallowell Manor, they wouldn't really. If they didn't have the Hallowell Manor, it just wouldn't be Charmed. So this prompt is to read a book that makes you feel nostalgic. So a book that has like a cover that gives you the feeling of home. It could be something that you read when you were younger and want to pick up again. So sort of like a reread. It can be anything that gives you the feeling of nostalgia from when you were a child, or for a place that to you feels like home. The next prompt is Patty and Grams. This is named after the girls' mother and grandmother. Their mother died when they were really young, and their grandmother, like I said before, she died 6 months before they got their powers. So this prompt is to read a book where the parents have died, or they die, or they're just non-existent. So a book, a story that doesn't have parents in it. The next prompt is Book of Shadows. So this is what the girls look at as kind of like their reference book. It has all the spells, it has all the demons, it has everything that they need to know in order to fight whatever evil they're dealing with, or research whatever they need to in regards to their magic. And this prompt is simply just to read a book that's over 500 pages. Now, this next prompt is called Primrose Empath. This is named after one of the episodes. It's about Prue. It is about a demon who has been cursed with the power of empathy, and he ends up passing it along to Prue, who in turn gets this power, and she doesn't know how to control it. She can't handle it. So for this, just read a book that gives you all the feels, all the emotions, a book that you know is going to make you feel pretty emotional. And the bonus prompt that I have, this is great for people who have any of the Charmed books that came out when the show was active. So this is pretty much like books that were based around Charmed, but not necessarily an episode that had already come out. There are some that are based on episodes, but some are just like a separate sort of episode, and I really like them because they give you an insight to the girls' thoughts rather than just making it like another episode in the show. The bonus prompt for Prue is to read the book Kiss of Darkness, which is, I think it's the second book in the Charmed series. I'll put up a little picture. And or watch an episode that's based around Prue. So you can literally pick any episode that focuses on Prue and watch that. You can watch as many as you want, really. Now onto your special abilities. So each of these particular teams will have a special ability that you can use. For this one, it is astral projection, and astral projection is one of the powers that Prue has, which allows her to be in more than one place at a time. She can sort of like move her soul out of her body and transport it elsewhere that she wants to. So for this special ability, you are able to swap one of these prompts with another prompt from one of the teams. So for example, if you don't want to read a book that makes you feel nostalgic, you can swap that prompt with another one from one of the other teams that you feel you might have a book that fits that best. The second team is elders. So the elders are kind of like guardians, I guess, in a way. They sort of like, they're like the witch government. They sort of watch over everybody. They make sure that everything is under control. They make sure that nobody is getting exposed. They handle a lot of the very important things that come with being a witch and comes with dealing with magic. This particular team is kind of based around Piper and Leo. Piper is the middle sister and Leo is her husband slash White Lighter, which I'll get to that in a moment. So the first prompt for this is White Lighter. Now, White Lighters are guardians for witches. They look after them, they look out for them, they train them, they teach them, they help them learn and get used to their powers. They heal them when they need to. They're like their teachers. So read a book with a guardian or mentor type character. The second prompt is a healer. So like I said, White Lighters can heal people. So read a book that will make you feel good. So a book that you look at and think, yeah, this is going to make me happy. The next prompt is Piper. Read a book with romance. Piper is the middle sister, or at least she starts out as the middle sister in the beginning of the series. And she has always been pretty much a hopeless romantic. She starts off being kind of wary, worried, panicky, anxious type person. She just wants to have a normal life. And then as the show progresses, she ends up becoming stronger and more powerful and focused, and she definitely has great character development in the series. The next one is Destined. So read a book that has been recommended to you, whether by people on Twitter, Bookstagram, Booktube, whatever, or by a friend that has recommended you something. Then the episode prompt is Awakened. This episode was completely not really supernatural based at all. It's an episode about Piper where she ends up contracting a disease that they don't know how to cure because it's very deadly, but it's also very rare, and it's fantastic episode. Very well done. For this prompt, you are to read a book during a specific time of the day. So read a book that you are setting aside time to read in the morning, lunchtime, dinner time, wherever, as long as you only read it in that specific time of day. The bonus prompt is to read the charmed book Legacy of Merlin, which is all about Piper and Camelot. It's fantastic. And or watch an episode based around Leo, Piper, or both. Your special ability for this is to freeze time. So one of Piper's powers is to essentially stop time for about 5-10 seconds. So your ability is you're able to DNF a book that you're really not feeling, or you can avoid reading a particular prompt in this list if you don't have a book for it. If you don't have a book that has romance in it, you can completely cut that out and it's not going to matter. The next team that we have is Underworld. The Underworld is like the opposite of the Elders. It's where all the demons and the evil warlocks and everyone live and gather their thoughts and their powers ready to attack the charmed ones or attack innocents or make their plans. And this team is pretty much about Phoebe and Cole. Phoebe is the younger sister, and Cole, for a brief period in time, is like one of her great loves. He is also a demon. The first prompt is Balthazar. Balthazar is the demon version of Cole. Read a dark and intimidating book, so a book that kind of scares you a little bit. Number 2 is Woogie. Woogie is kind of like the boogeyman, but it's more of like a shadow, and it comes from the basement where like all the power is sort of drawn to, and it's an evil being that tries to steal the girl's magic, and it solely goes after Phoebe because it can turn Phoebe evil. There's a whole episode. It's a long story, but it's great. Read a horror or thriller. The next prompt is Phoebe. Like I said, she is the younger sister at the very beginning of the series, and she's always sort of seen as like the black sheep, not really smart enough. You know, she always looks at herself as not powerful enough, but she really grows over the series and she becomes quite powerful with her magic, and she's just awesome. Like the more I rewatch the show, the more I actually love Phoebe. So read a book that's underrated or underhyped. So a book that you don't hear much about, that a lot of people don't talk about. The next prompt is The Source. The Source is like the all-powerful evil being, and he's the one that sends all the demons after the charmed ones. He's the one that makes sure that like he gets the demons attacking the innocents, and he's like the girl's arch nemesis. And this prompt is to read an urban fantasy, so a fantasy book that is set in modern times or times that have like the things that we do, like technology and that sort of stuff. The episode prompt for this is San Francisco, which is one of my favorite episodes. It's where the girls get infected with sins and they end up almost being self-destructive with said sins, and it's actually quite hilarious because of the sins that they get. Read a book with a gorgeous cover. Self-explanatory, just read a very pretty book. Then your bonus prompt is to read the charmed book Whispers from the Past, and or watch an episode based around Phoebe, Cole, or both. Your special ability for this is premonition, so that's one of Phoebe's powers that allows her to see the future, see the past, even sometimes see the present. You are able to read a book that you've already started. So if you go into this readathon and you've got a book there that you've already in the middle of, add that to your prompts. And the last team is Magic, and this is focused around Paige, who comes in later on in the series, and she ends up being the new younger witch. She is also part White Lighter. The first prompt is Once Upon a Time, so read a fairy tale retelling. The next one is Mermaids. Read a book set in or around water. As long as it has anything to do with water, you can read it. Then you have Power of Three. Read a book with the chosen one trope. So this can be anything where the character is deemed as chosen or destined for something. The next prompt is Page. Read a book that's the beginning or part of a series. So it's pretty much read something that's like the sequel or prequel, or something that's just part of the series, or something that's just part of a series. Then the episode prompt is A Page from the Past. This is an episode where Paige actually goes back in time to work out why her parents died. Very emotional episode, but very well done. Read a book with time travel. And the bonus prompt is to read the book Charmed again, or watch an episode based around Paige. Your special ability is orbing. So orbing is what White Lighters can do. It's like teleportation in a way. They turn into like glowing blue sparkly things, and they can transport to another place. This gives you the ability to start the readathon 2 days earlier than it actually starts. So you can start it at the end of September if you go with this team. Well, that's the 4 teams, guys. Like I said, I will have the information down below. I will also be putting up my TBR at some point closer to October as well, and I look forward to seeing your TBRs for it too. I really hope that you guys enjoy this. I am very much looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a lot of fun because I love Charmed, and I know I'm going to end up watching a lot of Charmed episodes probably. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to read the bonus Charmed books if you don't want to. You can just watch the episodes. You don't have to read the bonus prompt. That is just a bonus prompt. Like you don't have to do any of those at all. It's just a bonus if you do. If you have the Charmed books, fantastic. If you don't, I will link you to where you can get these particular books as well down below in the description box. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on this video, message me on Twitter, message me on Instagram, whatever is easier for you, and let me know if you have any issues. But yeah, so I look forward to this readathon with you. I hope this was somewhat clear for you guys. Like I said, if you have any confusion, just let me know. And if not, excellent. I look forward to seeing all your upcoming TBR videos for this readathon if you participate. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!